So this week, guys, I am in my room, and I feel like I haven't been in my room for an entire week in a very long time. And I'm kind of looking around this morning and I'm like, it's a little bit of a hot mess inside of my classroom. I feel like I just need Marie Kondo just to kind of come and clear the space so that I can get it back to where I need it to be. So in this video, we are going to organize our student papers. We're gonna go through, I'm gonna show you how I organize my units, my themes, everything to get my classroom back in tip-top shape. So let's do it. So I feel like I should be doing this kind of like TV show style, where I'm basically gonna, in just a second, gonna show you all the clips of the hot mess that is kind of happening in my classroom. So it's gonna be like a little before and then a little bit of an after, because I feel like even the most organized person is gonna get to the point in their classroom where it's just cluttered, it's just messy. Let's be real, life happens. You get busy, you can't just spend every single moment of your life cleaning your classrooms. So here we go. I'm gonna roll a nice little kind of B-roll something or another and show you the mess that's happening in my room right now. So one of the things that I like to do that I've seen since I was interning in 3rd grade, I interned in 3rd grade, yes I know, but when I interned in 3rd grade, I had a fantastic mentor, and she was just flat out amazing. She's still there. You know who you are. I love you. But what she did is she had like a homework checklist that she would put inside of her basket. And so she had a very specific basket that she only did for homework. Now I haven't been doing a lot of my math homework, but I've really started kind of seeing and noticing that my kids need spiral practice. I tried to do it like at the beginning of class, but the problem was that some learners were taking way longer than others. So what I decided to start doing is placing that spiral practice at the end of class. I give them probably about 5 or 10 minutes, kind of depending on the day. And it's only 6 problems. Sometimes they're word problems, sometimes they're not. It just kind of depends. And then what I want them to do is just kind of, it's practicing and reviewing some of those previous skills. So if they end up not getting it done in class, then they have to take it home. There are some kids who prefer just to take it home and doing it at home. And that is completely fine. So what I have is just like a plain, I have no idea where these are from. It says, I have no idea. I don't know. It's a plain gray basket. There's nothing fancy about this. But inside of the gray basket, I placed like a little math class spiral review, because this is the only class that I have like them turning in something physical for me for any type of homework situation. So inside of here, I just placed this little checklist in here, because as the kids turn it in for the day, that way I can just have their names written down and I can just check off who it is that needs to have done. If I was super smart, which I know you guys are probably way smarter than me, I would have had their names typed in first. Didn't do that. I'm just gonna write them in, and I'll do that next time. But I went on ahead and did 2 weeks worth, so I don't have to worry about the next week, because it's gonna be really, really busy for me. So I have their little math spiral practice review inside of here. This is where they'll turn it in for me. I can check it off really quickly and see who it is that's turning their things in and who has yet to turn those in. I also, for their spiral practice, I already have like the answer sheet ready to go, so that way I can just kind of give them that feedback and hand it back before the end of class. I try really, really hard to give it back to them that same day, so that I am not kind of trying to, you know, I don't have piles of like graded work. in my basket because it just stresses me out, and I'm really bad at getting my graded stuff done. So that way I take the first 5 minutes of class, I check everybody's name off, they're kind of working, getting their things started, getting things going, and I'm just kind of going through quickly grading everything and placing it inside of the little checklist here. So there's my kind of first little organizational tip for you. I just needed to get this done for this morning, so this is why I chose this first. I should really get to something else now. So this morning I am going for a little bit of a no makeup kind of look. My allergies are absolutely flaring like crazy, and I'm just gonna have to say that by the end of the day everything's gonna end up getting wiped off my face anyway, so I figured, you know what, I'm not gonna go through the trouble today. So here is my face. Semi-natural, not totally. So this morning I am going to try to focus on getting some of my areas clean. Yesterday afternoon, it was really weird because I woke up feeling fantastic. I actually woke up saying, oh, I feel like I actually did get rest, especially from not getting so much rest over the weekend. And then as the day sort of progressed, I got worse, and my allergies and my head and everything else, I had runny nose, I was sneezing like crazy, the kids were screaming watermelon all over the place, they were trying to get me to not sneeze. It was just no bueno. So I ended up deciding that right after my meeting that I had, I just needed to go home and just lay down. And y'all, I got these silk pillowcases. Absolutely divine. If you do not have silk pillowcases in your life, silk pillowcases, I highly recommend. I'm gonna leave a link to one of the ones that I purchased, and I love them. So nice and cool, feels so flippin' elegant on your face. Loved it. So I just went to bed because let's be real, I wanted to try those out. So I need to kind of get some of my areas cleaned up. I think specifically because my little back area over here that I kind of have isn't too bad of a hot mess. I'm gonna focus on my little meeting area, and this is just where typically I will try to have a morning meeting style, a very quick 2 to 5 minutes meeting with each of my groups. So I have my math group will come in, they'll take a seat, my reading group will come in, they will take a seat, and so on and so forth. So I want to get that little area kind of cleaned up. It's looking a little bit like a hot mess. I think I just kind of stuffed some things underneath that little easel that I have. So that's going to be my focus. These two chairs that are right here were actually on this side, but what I was finding is that it was really hard to kind of have me walk. I try to have my perimeters pretty clear so that I can walk around, and the kids that were over here on this bench were constantly pushing up against these kids that were on the chairs. And the kids like to move the chairs around, which is a little frustrating, but at the same time, I totally get it. They kind of throw themselves, they move it, they twist it and turn it so that they can see other areas. So I just placed it on this side. Still allows for me to have plenty of space here to be able to walk without having any type of obstructions, and then that kind of frees up this little opening here. The only thing that I'm gonna have to kind of figure out and play with just a little bit is just when I do have a larger group for that meeting, these chairs are going to end up having to get pushed back, which is going to be a little bit of a pain in the butt because I am so particular about where the chairs go. The kids just know it, and it just, I don't know. It's odd. So we're gonna see how this plays out this morning and see how it goes throughout the day, and then yeah, that's kind of gonna be where it is. So the little area that I have is this little easel. Y'all, it is just I don't know, I think it was from Kohl's, to be honest. It's one that I purchased off of Craigslist or maybe Facebook, I don't really know, but it has a lot of little items down here underneath. The air is blowing right in my hair, but you're gonna see it just has gotten a little bit cluttered. It just doesn't look very neat and tidy. So I'm gonna try to get all of this nice, neat and tidy, and I might just kick off my shoes. Okay, so here's a little view of what it looks like now. I did kind of clear off a lot of the stuff that was up here. Some of it was falling apart. There was just a ton of junk that was up there. I moved our giant Jenga set kind of over a little bit just to kind of add a little bit more visual interest. Our light is over because it was kind of hiding behind that easel there. And so far, everything is pretty good. I did clean off all of this here. So let me walk you through what I have. So I always kind of keep my expo markers upside down, and then I have an eraser, and then I always keep some pencils up here just because there's always that kid that ends up forgetting a pencil. I have my chime for calling attention right there, easily accessible, and then underneath here, which by the way, this is like not the original cup that this came with, obviously. I only had one, so I just used a plastic cup. So underneath here I have a few different items. So I like to keep my morning meeting ideas book. I keep the 55 essential because we do use this to kind of talk about some of the essentials that we need to have. Some sticky notes that I always like to keep down here. This is something that a friend of mine that actually ended up creating, and then I just loved it. But this is like at the end of the day when you want to just ask some questions, you can very easily send this around. Kids will pull it, and then there are some questions here like tell me something that you read today. Whoops, come on, focus. Not sure if it wants to focus, y'all. For instance, you have like tell me something that you read today. Another one would be, that's the same one, SPAC. Here we go. Did you learn any new words today? So kind of placing some of these in here so the kids can kind of turn it around if you want to have just like a quick activity to kind of close up the end of the day. All of these are transitions that I like to use. So if I like to be able to pair up my partners, I have my circles here. I have some of the puzzles here. I have some of my opposite cards that are all here. But this is just easily for me to be able to partner some of my kids. Here I have some fluency like strips if I just want to practice some fluency strips. I also have more sorting cards that are all theirs to make partners or small groups, and then I have some tape as well. So that's kind of what I end up keeping in my little small group area. No. So that's kind of what I end up keeping in my little meeting area. And also, by the way, it does have a chalkboard on the other side. We don't typically use it, but it is there. I feel like today has been the bomb diggity. I have been rocking it when it comes to the teaching area. I just feel really good about myself. I also have to say that this is why I end up keeping an extra pair of clothes in my classroom. So I'm walking around during the morning, doing my reading thing, teaching my reading groups, and all of a sudden I noticed that on my pair of pants, I have like a ton of fuzzies. Let me show you. Like, can you guys see my pants? Like, seriously. So basically, my other sweater that I was wearing, my cardigan, was leaving me a whole bunch of fuzzies. And now I'm also just realizing that this one is also leaving a ton of fuzzies. I just can't get away from the fuzzies. Here is what I've been kind of working on. I think about 10 minutes before the bell rang, as the kids were starting to kind of tidy up and clean up, I started kind of making my own little mess to try to get some things cleaned up. And I, for my units, when I organize some of the materials, I always place them in binders. I've always used binders. I just really like the fact that it helps me organize it. When I'm ready to teach that unit, I can pull that binder out, keep it next to me, be able to see all of the resources that I need to see. Any of the answer keys that I've already made, they're already in there. It just is a really nice way for me to be able to organize it. So I've had some papers that I've been working on getting them organized. So here's what my binders look like. I don't know if y'all remember this at the beginning of the year. I ended up placing just this normal like label so that I don't have to try to work on printing them. It just became too big of a pain in the butt for me to have to print them out. So I like this way better. And basically all I'm doing is I take the all of the activities that I have, whether I purchased some of them, whether I've made my own, and then I place them inside of here. And then I also put any of my answer keys as well inside of here. And this is just a nice little resource binder. So if I'm looking for anything to have for place value for, what is this? 5th grade? 3rd grade? 5th grade. I have it easily accessible here. So that's kind of what I've been doing. I've been putting away some of my papers. I have a few more that I have to kind of go through, weed out, figure out what I want to do with some of them. But yeah, that's what I've been working on so far. But this is kind of my organizational piece here. You're gonna see this will all look absolutely beautiful when I'm done. Problem is I don't think I'm gonna actually be done today because I need to go to dinner. My mother-in-law's coming over by 5 o'clock. So we're gonna have sushi, which sounds delightful, together as a family. And yeah, I have about 30 minutes to be able to get some work done. I'm gonna be working on this because this is gonna be my priority today. So I have made a little bit of progress. I have not gotten it to where it definitely needs to be, but that is going to be okay. I'm going to work on it throughout the week to hopefully get it to in tip-top shape. It is so funny because my kids were like, Mrs. Spackman, it's the first day of spring. I really should know these things because I know that I am a teacher. However, I do not always know these things, which is probably why I'm in the mood to be able to get my things cleaned up and organized. It's spring cleaning, y'all. There we are. So I am packed up, ready to go. I'm gonna start walking out of the door so that I can go pick up some sushi, and we are gonna chat as a fam. Dinner last night was really, really nice. Ended up just spending the evening kind of hanging out with Blaney, cleaning up his room because he had a hot mess inside of his room. This morning, I seriously come into my classroom and I'm like, how in the world have I just become one of those hoarders? Like, is it on A&E that it's like the hoarders show? I feel that's because that's what I'm feeling like. I'm feeling like one of those hoarders on the A&E show because it feels like every single time I open up a closet, I'm like, holy moly, why do I have so much junk kind of stashed in there? And I feel like I haven't even touched it at all this year. Regardless, I still have kind of the papers back here in the back that I still need to get placed inside of their unit folders. Typically, on good days, I will be thinking ahead and I will have that binder pulled out and I will be adding the things to it as I'm going along through the lesson. Somehow, somewhere down this rabbit hole, I somehow forgot to do that. So that's why I have the mess that I have. It's gonna be okay. I do want to go ahead and touch on a couple of different areas inside of my classroom though, because y'all are not going to be able to see that kind of come to life in this vlog. I'm just going to be honest with you. Like, there's too many papers to even be able to try to say that I'm going to have that done this week. It's just not going to happen. I'm going to do my hardest, but it is Thursday and I just don't see it happening because I have to do this one thing called teach, which takes up quite a bit of my day. So I do want to show you guys a couple of different areas that I want to get cleaned up, and that's where I'm going to spend my time this morning. I do have a meeting at 8 o'clock, so I have about 30 minutes before that meeting. And so here we go. So in this little area that I have right here in my classroom, this is kind of like my teacher stuff. I've been using this since kindergarten. I've always loved having it, but it tends to, as the year kind of goes along, it tends to get stuffed with just a random amount of junk between cards that people have given me, little things that we have. I don't even know what some of this stuff is. Let's just be real. Like, I just have it completely jam-packed, filled up, and I can't even like pull things out of it without everything coming out and flooding pretty much my entire little area over here. By the way, one of my students brought me this little guy. Isn't he adorable? It's a cute little stuffed Hagrid. I just love him. Okay, so this is kind of the area that I want to get cleaned up this morning. Get it organized, kind of take everything out, and then kind of reevaluate what are some of the things that I truly do need inside of it, and what are some of those things that I do not need. Oh, okay. See, this is what I'm talking about. What in the world do I have here? Okay, well, oh my gosh, I've been looking for these. Oh. And I have a charger. Awesome. All right, here we go. I don't think that I need, let's see. I need to make 2 piles. So here's all the stuff that's in there. I'm gonna make 2 piles, a keep pile and an I don't need pile. If y'all are wondering where this is from, apparently it's from Home Goods and it only cost me $7.99. So I've had this for years, but check out Home Goods if you're just wondering. That's kind of lazy that Spack Attack did not take off this sticker when I bought it. Wow. Alright guys, so here are some of the things that I ended up leaving inside of this little container. So one of the things that I like to keep inside of here are my multiplication tables for some of my kiddos who just need to have that multiplication table. These are my like ooh-a-moosey little papers, so in case I want to write a sweet note to somebody, I need to write a note to a parent. Whatever it is, this is typically what I will send it in. I just simply made it with our ooh-a-moosey banner because that is my house for this classroom. I have like a little Spackman reading goals kind of example here. I also have an example of my word study packet here. I like to keep index cards. I probably don't have to keep them in here, but I do. I also keep this, what is this thing called? It's like one of those grading things. Sometimes I use them. It's very, very rare that I ever do, but I do like to have it in here just in case. I also like to keep some thank you cards, so I have those inside of here. One thing is sticky notes. We do pride tickets at my school, so I have some pride tickets for me to be able to hand out. And then I also keep some little dojo rewards for when I just need to start handing out some dojo rewards to kids. So we have these little cards for us to be able to hand some of those out. But that's about it. And then I'll probably also keep some of these dry erase markers in there as well. But that's all that I need to keep inside of that. So now it's placing everything back inside. Oh, look how lovely that looks. Very nice. So up here on the front of my board, I have kind of the kids' little areas, so they kind of see that I have like the day, I have what specials we're going to, but the kids also have access to this, and this is kind of like their little catch-all space. And I do need to get this organized. What's nice is that this is magnetic. Honestly, it's Rubbermaid. It's fantastic. I've had this forever and I absolutely love it as well. So I'm gonna pull this off and then try to get some of the things kind of cleared out, because there's some things in here that just don't need to be in there. And like my blue slips, I need to get some of these things replenished so that my kids can access it. So I feel like I have, I've had a pretty good day overall. I will say that there's like this super like nova, like special crazy moon that's been happening right now, and I can definitely feel it in my class this week. But it is okay, because tomorrow is finally Friday. Finally Friday. That's gonna be a new thing. It is finally Friday tomorrow, so I got one more day, y'all, and I'm gonna totally make it. So I have kind of like this bookshelf. It doesn't hold books. In fact, it holds all of my math items. I don't typically use a ton of manipulatives inside of my class, but I do have some manipulatives for some of those kids who need to have more practice using some of those more conceptual items. Anywho, so I have this bookshelf, and this thing has been a hot mess for the last week. Y'all, I had file folders kind of all hanging out inside of it. I had like all of my bins that hold those folders for those games were all kinds of sorts of crazy. The kids were just throwing all of the game pieces and all of the manipulatives in all sorts of a mess. It was dusty, it was gross. I had paper sticking out. It was just no bueno. Right after, soon as after school, like as soon as the kids left, I got down to business and was like, I'm gonna have this cleaned before I end up going home today. It was my mission to have it done, and now this is what it looks like. Look how much better that looks, y'all. It looks so nice. Look at how nice it looks. All right, so let me walk you kind of through it. So we use kind of the CPM model for being able to group some of our kids. And so when I want my kids to have certain like tasks, like they have either a task manager, a reporter, recorder, a resource manager, etc. We'll whip these out, and so those are just kind of pasted right there on the side of that bookshelf. And then when you come up here at the very top, I put a little cute board up there. It's just really not much. This is a file folder that holds all of their math books. So I have all of their math books. Woo, come on, let's get focused. So I have all of their math books, which are all made for them, and this is where the kids will come and grab them at the start of class. So then when you come down to this first shelf right here, this first shelf is where I keep any kind of games. So activities, partner games, just extra games that I want my kids being able to practice with. Now, I don't use these on like a day-to-day basis, but I will say that I do like to use these, especially for kids who just need to have some of that extra practice. I will get them to come over here, they'll grab it from their bin, and then practice, and they'll place it right back where it's supposed to go. I keep some of these like pouches where the kids can use dry erase markers on them, because I have some paper forms that they can just grab them and place them inside of here. I like to use these a lot for small groups especially. And then I have these bins. I need one more, and I'm just going to order it. It's going to go right there. It is what it is. I think I put my addition and my subtraction folders in here, so it's not supposed to be in there. And then I'll just move those later once I have an extra bin here. I do need to go ahead and just make sticky notes. I don't do anything fancy, y'all. Like you can see, this one says fractions on a sticky note. I'm gonna do like my place value here. The addition and subtraction is gonna go right in between here. Multiplication, division, and then I have some algebra that's in here, so the kids can kind of grab those to practice with. Then I go down here. I've had these bins ever since kindergarten. I love, love, love these bins. They're beautiful. They're wonderful. I know that they're purple. It's not my favorite color, but you know what? They have worked so flippin' well for me. So I have some manipulatives in here. I have like the foam shapes here. I have bears. I have base 10 blocks. Any type of, that says 3D shapes. That ain't no 3D shapes. I gotta change that. Money, buttons, dice, a lot of dice, game pieces, and then I have some like place value for decimal cards, which are over here in this little corner. And then it just kind of continues down here to the bottom. Overall, I have to say, this looks so much better. And then I really was kind of busting my little hiney here over my special and also my lunch break. I hardly ate. I'm starving. I'm not gonna lie, but look at all my binders, y'all. Look how lovely that looks. I am just so unbelievably pleased with all of it. I have some of my bins for my writing, which are up here that have some activities. I also have some math ones that are up here as well. There's some math ones that have some activities, some games for them to play. But then all of these are my unit binders. Like, it's just looks so nice. I'm gonna end up having to change these. This was just too much work. And to be honest, I'm pretty happy just using my little embossed label maker just to kind of make my labels. It's fast, it's simple, it looks so clean and wonderful. And then here is kind of what I'm left with. This is the mess that I have not organized, but that is going to be okay. I will definitely get to it. I just don't think it's not going to happen today. I need to go and make food. I also have to go and give my husband a haircut. So like I said, overall it was a pretty darn good day. I have been kind of kicking it trying to get as much organized as possible. I just feel like really out of sorts, and I think it's the fact that things are just not as clean and neat as I would love them to be, and this is definitely helping. It really, really is. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and get my things packed up. I'm gonna head home, give my husband his haircut like I said, and make some food. I'm thinking about breakfast for dinner. How many of y'all do breakfast for dinner? I'm all about some breakfast for dinner. It's one of my favorite things to cook. I just love it. And right now, I think I'm craving breakfast. So that's what we're gonna do. All right, I'll see you guys in the morning. It's finally Friday, and I am so excited to be able to have a weekend where I can try to kind of regain some of my sleep, energy. I don't really know, to be honest. So today is Dress as Your Career Day, because on Monday, my school is hosting a career day. Basically, they've invited about 30 professionals to come out. The kids have 2 sessions that they're going to be attending. It's a really big deal. It's a big day on Monday and a big event for us at our school. So everybody's kind of coming today dressing up as their favorite career. Now, I got to wear my jeans, so I came dressed up as an NHE teacher, which is what I am. It's what I want to be when I grow up, and I have my little dream job, so that's kind of what I'm telling the kids. They go, "Miss Backman, don't you want to be like a singer or an actress?" Because I always tell them that my stage is my way to be able to like live out the dreams that I never got to have. Just never close to having those dreams. But no, really and truly, it's just to be a teacher. So that is what I came dressed up as today. All right, so this morning I need to get some of my things unpacked. I'm gonna kind of survey my room and figure out what is it that I want to be able to accomplish for the end of the week. Organizing is not something that's gonna be done in a week. I didn't mean to like kind of have this video be like, I'm gonna have my entire room organized in a week. That's not what I wanted it to be. I wanted to just sort of regain some of my, I can't even think of the word. I needed to regain back like the organization, the flow, the feeling of my classroom, and to get my mindset back in the game, because I felt like this week I was like a little all over the place. I just could not focus because of what my environment looked like. I am really big on one of those, like, if it's not clean, I cannot focus. If it is not, if I feel like I have something to organize or to clean or to do, there is no way that I'm gonna sit down and actually focus on what I need to have focused. So that is what I'm gonna do today and this morning. I do not have a meeting this morning, which is really, really nice. So I'm just gonna survey my room. I'm gonna figure out what is it that I need to kind of finish getting accomplished. I know I have the stuff that's back here in this corner. I would like to get this little area totally cleaned up because it's been like my little catch-all, I feel like. Let me show you. So I feel like this has been my little catch-all, y'all. I just have like different things that I've been finding in certain areas and then placing them here so that I can get it all cleaned out and organized. So that's kind of what I might try to get done this morning so that I feel good about this piece. These folders need to go to my partners. These need to go to my partner as well because these are not the grade level that I teach for math. So yeah, that's kind of what I am gonna focus on. Ooh. Hello. Hello. Why is there so much echo? Hello. My name is Spackman. My name is Spackman. Ooh. That is beautiful. Love it. So this is how you know your kids really, really know y'all, like know you really well. So I told y'all that my kids were like, you should be like a singer or an actress for career day. I had a kid that gave me this, and I don't remember if I even showed you guys. He gave me one of these like microphones just for like random, I have no idea why he gave it to me, but he just knew that it was gonna be something that I would use in my life. So I think what I'm gonna do is, because I like to have my kids read the morning message in the morning, and I do have like a legit microphone set that I have over here that the teachers use, especially when we have gigantic groups. It's really, really nice, especially during read aloud. We have one of these microphones. But I think the kids would really enjoy kind of using this to be able to do, to read the morning message. So I have a ton of like thank you cards, cards that my superintendent will write, because whenever he comes to visit or he sees your classroom, he'll always give you a thank you. If you go to any of like the school functions, he always writes us like a thank you for kind of showing up, kind of participating and coming out, which is always really nice that my superintendent takes the time to be able to do that. Granted, I am a very small district. Like we have one middle school, one high school, we have like 2 intermediate schools, and then we have 3 elementary schools. Like that's all that we have in our district, but still, for him to take the time to be able to do that is pretty awesome. So I'm curious as to what you guys do with your cards, because I'm at a loss at the moment. I don't know what to do with them. I don't know where to put them, where to place them, whatever. I'm just curious. So if you will please give me some ideas on what to do with some of these cards. I don't want to get rid of them because they are a little bit sentimental and I do want to keep them. I think for right now I'm just going to put them inside of like my personal closet where I hang up like my jackets and stuff like that, just to get it out of the way so it's not kind of cluttering up my space. But leave me some suggestions, pretty please. All right, y'all, that is it. This is kind of my little space now at this point. I don't put a lot of stuff over here. I like to keep it pretty minimal for the most part. So you guys see that I have my little caddy that I ended up organizing for yesterday, and that looks really nice, and I've been so happy with how it has come out. I also have my inbox here for my copies. Anything that I need to have on my task list, it kind of stays in this little box until I can file it in my 43 folder system. And then my TV, and that's really about it. I don't really keep a ton of stuff out, so it stays pretty clean and neat for the most part. I do have kind of my own little personal spot. A teacher friend of mine gave me this, a student gave me that, my father-in-law made that for me, and that's the award that I ended up getting this past weekend. So the kids told me to leave it here. They were like, I was going to take it home, and they were like, no, leave it here. They're cute. All right, so that's kind of the gist of this little area, and it looks so much better. Y'all cannot tell me that if you saw this type of area over here inside of your classroom, or maybe you do have that in your classroom, maybe you're really good at that. But anywho, let me tell you, if you saw this here, you would be more motivated to work than having a hot mess of like piles of papers everywhere. So, all right, so I'm gonna continue getting my clean on. Let's see how much I can get done before school ends up beginning. It is finally the end of the day, and I have to say that I look exactly how I feel. Really, really tired. I have to say though that I feel like I really kicked this whole organizing little pieces here and there's butt, because my room was a hot mess in the very beginning, and today, leaving here on a Friday at the end of the day by 4 o'clock, I have to say that it looks pretty darn good, and I feel so accomplished with having one of my closets organized. Now that doesn't mean that all of them are organized, because I can tell you that this one is a hot mess and there's one more that's pretty crazy. But for the most part, as far as like my theme stuff, that is looking really, really good. I have a small pile that I still have to put away. I might have time to be able to put it away, but me and my partner we're gonna kind of head out together today. So by the time that, like, I don't know, I finish this up, if I end up having time left over, I might be able to get it done. But the theme stuff is picked up. I feel like little spots in my classroom that were just looking a little bit messy and they were just becoming cluttered are starting to look so much better. But yeah, I feel like I'm in the spring cleaning mood. That's just kind of what's happening at this moment. So let me give you guys a little bit of a tour of my classroom and what it looks like now. One of the areas that was really messy was this little spot up here. I think it just ended up getting cluttered. It looked like people had not been wiping off the dry erase marker well enough. So yeah, it was just looking a little bit of a hot mess. So now we've gone through, have that completely organized, filled it up with some of those blue slips, and also more of, which are for absence, and then also some more of our Band-Aids, which we were running out of, but now everything is nice and neatly organized. It's ready for Monday, which I'm feeling really, really good about overall. So I don't know if you guys noticed that I had kind of all of this little pieces over here in the corner of my classroom that were not very organized. We're getting ready to start something called a Mac channel, which is a website that's going to have some video tutorials. It's going to have some podcasts in it, some written blog pieces, but it's completely student created, student led. And so we have kind of our little standard little backdrop. It needs to be ironed so bad. I think I'm just going to bring in a steam cleaner. We're going to steam it out so it doesn't look so wrinkly. But this is the little backdrop. This is where the kids are going to be able to film some of their recordings and their interviews that they're going to end up having. This little space here is my meeting area. This is where I meet with my learners. You're going to remember, oops, sorry. You will remember that I had these two chairs kind of here. It ended up not working out. So I kept it the way that it was because it does really work for me. The kids just end up moving things around. It just becomes a pain. But we've been really focusing and talking about how to keep our areas clean and neat and tidy. So all of this little space here is still nice and tidy and clean. Have my dry erase markers, my pencils, and then we've been playing some games with Silent Ball and our hacky sack there, or beanbag, apologies, like beanbag. So I keep all of those materials there for my morning meetings next week. So you guys are going to remember that I had a ton of papers everywhere. These were all of my theme papers that we needed to have, that I needed to get back and organized. I still have a few more. Some of these are already placed inside of their pouches. I just have to organize them into the binders, so they are ready to go, and they're also sorted by the category again, just so that I can be able to place them in. And then inside of this closet, which is so better. Oh, look at that. I wish I had one more shelf to be able to kind of separate some of those binders, but it is what it is. That's all I have. So here you're going to see that I have all my binders, 4th grade through 5th grade math, which are going to be up here. And then I have my ELA and my content binders, which are down here. I have some items down here that I don't typically try to get to, like my JA. I only teach that every 3 years. I have some other content information over here, only teach it every 3 years just because we're on a cycle for the MAC team. And then I have some of my containers up here, which are my writings that has some activities inside of it. Same with up here. And then I also have task cards for literature, which are inside of those pockets. So here's what this looks like. And then on the other side of the door is where I have all of my math items. This is still looking fantastic. The kids did not get to this area today, so they did not mess it up. So that I'm pretty thankful for, but they will start to have a little bit more access to it starting on Monday. But here's what this little area now looks like, and it's all nice and neatly organized. Finally, over here in this corner, I got this little cart all nice and neatly organized. I use these for whenever my students are absent, I can place their work inside of there. I also put some extra dry erase boards that I have in here. Inside of this file cabinet, which had a ton of papers, I place a lot of my pages, like graphic organizers that I want my students to be able to access. I place them in there. It's just general organizers that I will place in there, but that is also been organized, which is nice. And then finally, kind of my area here. I have a few things that I need to take home, be able to organize it. This is just professional development items. I don't really know exactly what to do with some of those. Ooh, let me show you guys this in just a second, because I had a company that just like randomly sent me this stuff, and I wanted to share it with you because I have been using a couple of these items in my classroom and the kids really enjoy it. But I have this here is organized, my cute little Hagrid, and then I have all of my papers here organized. These papers are papers to be graded, but everything is nice, neat, and clean. So here's kind of a span of my classroom. So like I was saying, I got a little package. I guess this is like my mail time because I don't really get a ton of mail. But I did get this company that decided to send this to me. They are not paying me for this, so this is not a sponsored, but I did receive these items for free. They will send it to you just in hopes that you will share it with your community in case you do like the product. And I have to say, I do actually really like these products. In the beginning, I was a little kind of nervous because I didn't know how exactly it would work for me as being a 4, 5, and 6th grade teacher. But one of the things that they sent me were these little and this company is called Everyday Educate. And these are carpet spot markers, and these were really cute. So I've seen like the spot ones, but these are in the shape of stars. They are fantastic, like will literally stick down. I've played a couple of games with these with the kids. I have placed stars down just to help them kind of be with spacing themselves apart, which has been really nice, but they love them. I don't know why. The kids really enjoy it, and this was with 6th graders, y'all. I don't really understand. But they're cute little stars, and they come in a variety of different colors, so you can kind of see those here. Also, they sent to me were a bunch of these like rubber bands, and these are meant to go onto the legs of your chairs so that the kids, sorry, really noisy, so that the kids can put their feet on them and use them as almost like a fidget to help kind of relieve some of that moving fidgetness that they end up getting. I know that there's a better term out there, but it's Friday, y'all. I can't think. But these have been fantastic as well. The kids have been really enjoying them, and you can just see that they kind of just sit there. And I have quite a few kids who just need that extra kind of, I need to release some of this, like, y'all see that sun? Like they just need to relieve some of the like energy that is in their body. Bless their heart. They just don't get enough recess. But yeah, these have been working out fantastic, and I love them. So thank you to Everyday Educate. Y'all, if you want to check them out, I'm going to leave a link in the description box. But yeah, so that's kind of what I have. I think for the most part, that's it. I'm done. Like, I'm feeling really good about my room. I think I'm going to be able to come in next week, even though I'm not going to be here all of next week. Thursday, I end up leaving for curriculum rewrite, and then Friday, I'm gonna be gone because I'm going to the Teacher Heart Out Conference in Atlanta. I'm gonna see my cousin, I'm gonna see my sister. It's gonna be fantastic. I am so excited. But that means I'm only gonna be working 3 days, and I think I just really needed to have, I needed everything to feel a little bit more organized. I was feeling a little chaotic, and I think a lot of it was stemming from the fact that everything in my room just looked like it was a mess, and it's because I haven't been in my classroom for very much. But anyways, so that is it, y'all. I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you are not a subscriber, I would love it if you would subscribe to me. I try to give out a video every single week, whether it be on just things that I'm doing in my classroom or kind of some tips and tricks that I have. But yeah, thanks so much for watching, guys. Hit that bell, hit the subscribe button, give it a thumbs up, tell me that you loved it, and I will see you all next week. Oh, by the way, if you want to see, do y'all want to see the Teacher Heart Out Conference? I can video that. I don't know. You let me know if you want to end up seeing that. I would be more than happy to post that. I don't know how many vloggers are actually going to go to that, so maybe that might be some really interesting content. Plus you can see how goofy my sister and I, and also my cousin and I, are when we all get together. It's pretty hilarious. Actually, I don't know, you may not think that's funny at all. All right, y'all, I'm gonna get going. I'm gonna be heading out. So thank you all so much for watching. I love you all dearly, and I will see you all next week. Bye.